John Alajancic. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. You're at the Lair, presented by Straggett Media. Got an exciting show for you tonight with a member of our girls golf team as well as the coach and members of our boys and girls golf bowling team. So we're really excited to hear from them. But before we start, I want to take a quick moment to thank our three main sponsors, Thomas Dental and Associates, the law firm of Guiley and Guiley, and The Soul Truth. So we really appreciate your support here at the Lair. So let's get going. For our first segment tonight, we have a member of our girls golf team, actually the captain for next year, Peyton Biery, and first year, actually not first year, just finished his first year, Coach Bart Keiser. So, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Well, tell us, first and foremost, Peyton, you're only a junior. Tell us about how the season went this past year.
We had a semi-successful season for how young our team was. I think our record was 9-5. And, I mean, we had 5 new players, so I'm with that. And only 2 varsity returners from the previous years, so we really played well for what we had.
Yeah, and Coach Keiser kind of talking before the show tonight, had 10 girls total play. And tell us a little bit some of the trials or, with new girls coming out, whatever. Explain a little bit more about the team.
Peyton is accurate. We had 5 new girls. 2 of them were juniors, who neither of them had ever played before. And then we had 3 freshmen. 2 of them had not played before. And 1 come up through first tee, had some experience. So she was very helpful to us. But the young lady that we named as our most improved player was the first girl to ask me if she needed her own clubs. And without clubs, with Peyton helping her, with Kathy Sherman, my assistant coach, and I trying to help her at every turn, her first round was 72 and her last round was 51. So in the course of 3 months, she made tremendous improvement.
That's awesome. I mean, as a coach, obviously you want to win championships and things like that, but more importantly, it's seeing your players do the most with the abilities that God's given them. And it's just awesome to see a girl like that, bold and brave enough really to pick up the clubs for the first time and make that much of improvement over a span of a couple months there.
I really would like Peyton to answer that, but none of the girls showed any fear. Now, on the inside, they may have been shaking, but when we asked them to step up and play for Louisville, no one ever said no.
Awesome. And you probably take a lot of that confidence from you, Peyton, being a kind of a leader on the team. Tell us about your mentality, because golf, albeit a team sport, it's really an individual sport in a lot of ways. And so, there's a lot going on in that head over the course of 9 holes or 18 holes, whatever the match dictates. But how do you mentally get focused to navigate your way around the golf course?
That's a good question. If I have a bad hole, you just have to shake it off because you can't carry it into the next hole. I mean, over the summer in the summer tournament, I went 9-4-9 and still shot the best round of my life. So you just have to move on because that was quadruples on holes. So just forget it. It's so hard to get through your head, but once you do it, it's easy.
I've had a couple stretches like that, minus the 4s, just a couple 9s actually. So, but okay, yeah, you have to forget about the last hole and go with the next one.
So she's not telling you the whole story.
Okay.
When you go 9-4-9, only play 9 holes, and still break par, you've done something very special. Take 2 9s out of there, add 2 9s in the equation, and be 7, 6 over, 5 over those 2, and still shoot below par. Played a wonderful round of golf.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Bart kind of left the corporate world, came back, and this was your first time here, again, the first year of coaching our girls here. How was that transition for you? And what was, you say, maybe some of the challenges, but also some of the successes this year?
Certainly, my wife cautioned me about stepping into the world of teenage girls after raising our daughter. But I found each of them to be willing to listen. And that makes all the difference in the world. When a girl says, I don't need this, it doesn't feel right, I don't want to do it, that's one thing. When they say, okay, coach, I'll try. Whether they have, many of the girls have year-round coaches, and coaches is not the right, teachers, the better word, that are helping them get comfortable with all their clubs and put their swing in place. And so to get direction from me, which may be counter to what they've been told all year, puts room in the equation for them to doubt me. And I think it took time, but I think in the end, I felt like all the girls trusted me, and that's probably the most important part of the whole thing for me.
Now, Peyton, first team All Tri-County, first team All-Star County, both from the coaches and the Canton rep. It's a very successful season as an individual. What were your expectations going into this season, and did you meet them?
Yeah, I had a lot of goals for this season. One of them being making it out of sectionals. That was the only goal I didn't meet, but I mean, I was close, and I still have next year to go back and try again. So.
Okay. Now, when I've ever played in a sport or anything like that, there's three kind of takeaways that I took after each game, which was, what did I do well? What did I learn? And then how do I apply what I learned? So kind of taking that from your junior season into your senior season, what did you do well this past year? What did you learn? And how do you plan on applying that in your senior year?
My putting was probably the best part of my game this year. It really improved a lot from sophomore year, but next year I want to get more distance, like off the tee and everything. So I'm just hitting in the off season, working out more, and just focusing on how to get more distance with like my swing coach and everything.
Okay. Now, Peyton's going to be the captain next year. Coach, can you tell us, there's a lot that comes with the captain. Why Peyton Biery as the captain for next year's team?
I was afraid you were going to ask that. I have several seniors that I could choose from. Each of them demonstrated maturity beyond where I thought they would. Each of them showed leadership in different areas. I had the whole year to watch Peyton, just to talk to each of them, the girls, and see if our philosophies were in sync, see if we wanted the team led in the same positive environment. And in the end, it was an easy choice. Peyton had all those things going for her, but she had experience that the other girls couldn't bring forward. And her experience has allowed remaining seniors and the underclassmen. If you took a second and watched before a meet, if Peyton walked over to the putting green, 4 girls followed her, or 5 followed her. And so she exhibited all of the characteristics that a natural leader has. You can't practice. That the other team members sensed that Peyton was their leader, sensed that Peyton knew what she was doing and had the experience and willingness to teach them. All of those things made it easy for me to ask Peyton. She went a couple of days to think about it because I asked a lot of her. There was questions about, do we see the same way? Can you, on our student sheet that they have to sign at the beginning of the year about the rules of the team and that sort of thing. One of the rules that's very important to me is an ethics rule. It says if I was a coach by myself, if I had a captain, we would together decide what the penalties needed to be for specific action. And part of that was because we had a small team. Part of that fear was that you might have to take an action that would be detrimental to the team as a whole. Peyton measured up. And so that's probably the right, not the right analogy, but final nail in the coffin for my choice to put Peyton.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Well, share, what was maybe one of the major highlights, Peyton, from this, one or two of the major highlights, maybe as a team or as an individual from this season?
As a team, I would say probably beating West Branch. It wasn't like a tough match, not like a tough match, but like a match going in, but we won by 1 stroke. So it just I think opened a lot of girls' eyes, like how much like each putt counts, which everything counts. Then individually, our last match this season, I shot 35, which was my lowest on 9. So that was the highlight of the season for me. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. 35, a good putter. I have to get you blood tested again. I'm not sure if you're a Biery. I've seen your dad putt. So, but last thing, I know you had 10 girls play this year. You lost 2 to graduation, so you're down to 8. How do you get more participation coming out? Or I mean, obviously there's opportunity there on the team. How many girls you're looking for? Because I just know, just being a community member and just how important it is to be part of different organizations, no matter what the sport is or whatever. But Bart, both of you guys, if you would, what are you looking for in any new girls who want to play?
I mean, if you just like ever seen someone like swing a club and you're like, oh, that's cool, or you just want something to do and they'll call, like, we need people. So, I mean, I think we have a good team bonding and stuff, and we get along pretty good. So, my freshman year, I knew no one on the team, and then that was made so many of my best friends from it. So,
We're not in dire strait. Last year, I mean, when Peyton was a sophomore, they had 12 girls and 6 graduated, leaving us with 5, and we ended up fielding a team of 10. But this year, when Peyton's class graduates, there will be 4 remaining. So this year we have room for 4 to 6 girls easily, and next year the number will be bigger. But we would love to have anyone who wants to try. Peyton and her teammates this year have demonstrated that they're willing to take on players with no experience and teach them and be patient and help. So I think that's the track record that I want to sell. But we will, to the best of our ability, help any girl who wants to learn.
Awesome. That's a great skill in life. Work with people willing and eager to learn. So, Peyton, you hit it right on the head there in terms of obviously we all want to win championships or get to districts or whatever, but you starting as a freshman, not really knowing anybody, to now you have great friends on the team. Really, it's those relationships that 20 years from now survive. I'm just remembering this past week texting with a friend of mine who I knew 40 plus years. Now we're talking, texting about our kids playing. And so just different things like that come from playing with one another in high school. So that's really cool. So, but any last words, Peyton, about this year or any goals for next year for you as a team and as an individual?
As a team, I mean, improving our record and hopefully seeing our 18 holes score lower as a team. We were around 70 this year, so maybe seeing it go down to 350 would be nice. And then individually getting out of sectionals and hopefully breaking all my goals, records again.
Awesome. Well, Bart, it's great to hear that you're coming back for a second year. I'm really encouraged to hear that. And Peyton, thanks for joining us here at the Lair. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Up next, we have members from our boys and girls bowling team, so stay tuned.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans of the Dragon Media Network, and us here at the network want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and make sure you're safe over the holiday.
Life is tough. At Notre Dame, Ohio State, and in my life thereafter, I've had to walk through situations that were as challenging as it gets. A large part of my ability to overcome the challenges were the determination and toughness I learned as a Leopard athlete. Your challenge today is tough. They want to push you around and take what's yours. Fight hard and rise to the challenge to show yourself that in years to come, that as your life gets hard, you'll have the intestinal fortitude to overcome. For many years, you have trained and practiced for this moment. And show what you got.
You like spending time with your family, but have you planned for when that is not possible? Guiley & Guiley provide affordable estate planning protecting you and your family. Our experience is your solution. Guiley & Guiley.
Hello everyone, it's Tegan Evans of the Stragon Media Network, and we wanted to give you an update on the winter storm that is coming this holiday weekend. So let's take a look at this weekend's weather. Start with Friday, the day the storm is coming. On Friday, it is a high of 12 and a low of 1 with a 62% chance of snow and winds up to 27 miles per hour. On Saturday, it is a high of 9 and a low of 7 with a 10% chance of snow and winds up to 22 miles per hour. And on Sunday, Christmas Day, it is a high of 17 and a low of 8 with only an 11% chance of snow and winds up to 16 miles per hour. If you're traveling this weekend, make sure you take precaution and drive safe. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Beatty Sports has all of your athletic needs, specializing in corporate, school, and team apparel. In-house custom embroidery and silk screening makes the Beatty Sports tradition of quality and service unbeatable. Go Leopards!
Hello and welcome back to the Leopard Lair, presented by Stragon. For our second segment here, we have members of the boys and girls bowling team, as well as one of the coaches as well. So first of all, down on the far right, we have Estrella, Lopez, Cruz, and then Michael Emerick, and then assistant coach Robin Reese. We thank you guys for joining us. So Robin, let's start with you, because Robin's here with us tonight because head coach Courtney Stallman just had her wisdom teeth out yesterday, which, Courtney, we hope you're feeling okay at home there. But Robin, so far, how's the season going?
Doing okay. We're got some high gain, but we're getting through it.
Okay, cool. Now, Michael, you guys are 4-4 so far. The boys are 4-4 so far. I know, kind of a young team, both the boys and girls. Kind of give us a little more insight onto that.
Yeah, it's a lot of younger kids, and bowling is really form and being able to repeat the same thing. So it's just willing to take the time with the freshmen we have and the underclassmen, willing to work with them to make them better. And that'll help the team a lot. Bonding with them and helping them and putting in the initiative to try and help them in any way you can really brings the team together. And it's just a good positive energy with the team, and we try our best to just help in any way we can.
Estrella, the girls are 2-6 currently. Now you, coming off of a game where you bowled a 247, only a handful of pins away from setting a school record set by Carlene Fouts. How do you, with a younger team as well? Now you're only a sophomore. How do you navigate that? Because I'm sure some of these girls are your friends. Some are brand new. You didn't know going into the season. Kind of share with us that team dynamic.
I got really close to sophomores now because they're a freshman friend group. I only met them because of bowling, and I'm really happy I did meet them. With the new girls now this year, I feel connected to them as well as how I do with my other sophomores. And just all our little family. I'm really glad to have that connection with them.
Awesome. Now, the bowling team just came into existence 5 years ago, and 4 years ago joined the Stark County Conference. Our team's currently playing in the national division of that conference. So, is there any teams that you guys like playing? Maybe kind of get up for or anything like that, or any dynamic in that way, or is it just you show up and you're ready to roll it no matter who you're playing?
Yeah, basically. We show up with the same mentality at every match, because anything can happen. Doesn't matter how good you are, you could have a bad day. Because as long as your mind is set on we can do this, you're gonna try your hardest. You're gonna do the best. You may not win, but as long as you're trying and putting in the effort and having a positive mentality throughout it, doesn't matter if you win or not.
Now, Robin, an assistant with the team alongside Deanna Apicello as well. This is your 4th year with the program. How have you seen it from when you first volunteered 4 years ago to now? What would you say the biggest growth is within the teams? I mean, even the boys making it to state a year ago, which is incredible for a program that's really in the infant stages right now.
Probably, like the different kids that come out. It's kids that you wouldn't think get into it, but they're liking it, they love it, and they're put their heart into it. So they're trying.
That's awesome. Now, how long have you been bowling?
I'm,
Time. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, they're over 30 some years.
Now, Michael rolled a 279 earlier in the season, which is just a 10 pins short of the school record set by Tommy Warner. I mean, 279. Take us to that game where you rolled a 279. Like, what did you know you had it spinning early, or like,
Well,
did the total just kind of happen?
I try not to think ahead. If you think ahead, you're gonna be thinking too much, and you're just gonna mess something up. I like to take it like slow. Don't think ahead. Just take your time, one frame at a time. And I felt like I was throwing it good, but still, then again, you have to stay on your guard. You can't be like, oh, I got this, it's easy. Because then, if you like get your mind off of focusing and really trying to like do your best, then you're not. It's just you can't get too comfortable. You have to know anything can happen.
Okay. Estrella and Michael, you can chime in as well. Explain to our viewers in terms of like, what does a bowling match entail? Like what's the, because where some viewers might be more familiar with like basketball or football having 4 quarters, explain to us what a bowling match looks like.
Yeah, so we'll start off and we'll bowl 2 individual games, and 5 people will bowl in that. And you'll finish your games, and it's the totals. You add all the totals from each person who bowls up, and then once you're done with your 2 individuals, you'll have that total, and then you'll move into Bakers. And Estrella can explain that.
Bakers is when your whole team goes and plays one entire game together, and person gets put into 1 and 6, another person gets put into 2 and 7, so on. And you just see that how your whole team works out together.
Do you enjoy the Bakers, like that dynamic?
It's a lot more energy, like the team's trying to hype each other up, you're trying to win it. And usually with your Bakers, you bowl next to the other team, so it's more head-to-head, more competitive. So it just makes the team try more to win, because it's head-to-head. You're next to each other, so
So now, what does the rest of the season look like, you guys? Is it start county championships come up, or is it districts? What does that look like for the end of the season?
It'll just we'll have our matches, and then here and there with tournaments. Then the last thing we'll do is districts and all that. And then if we make it, we'll qualify and move on from there if we make it, which I would like to, and I'm hoping we do, but we got a lot to go. Young team, and they're putting in work, but still more to go for everyone.
Now, is there a place that you like bowling more? I know our home lanes are East Barry. You really enjoy bowling there, or is there somewhere else you like? It's like playing in a different football field or basketball. Some gym feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
what lanes feel comfortable to you?
There's some places that are more easy, maybe like East Barry, our home. That house is known to be pretty easy, and then there's more difficult ones as you go on. It just kind of depends on there's a lot of factors that go into how it could be playing that day. Even temperature can have an effect with it. So if the oil is dry, say the oil is dry more at one place, it's gonna hook more. So you're gonna have to adjust off of that. or like some it won't hook at all. So you gotta adjust off of that. It really just depends. In what you prefer in bowling is more of how you throw the ball. It's not really people tend to like this. Because if you hook the ball more, you're gonna want more oil so that it doesn't hook as much. Or if you don't hook it a lot, you want less oil.
I know that. That's awesome to learn. Now, Estrella, let's take us to your 247 you rolled. A, who was it against? And B, like, how throughout that match, were you feeling it? Or just like, you just look at your total like, wow, 247.
Throughout the game, I tried my hardest not to look at my score until the end. I'm pretty sure it was against Master, right? And those are, I believe, my favorite lanes. I don't know. I just felt connected to that place. And I started the game, my first frame, I got a gutter. But then I pulled through and got a 247 somehow. I decided not, like, I tried my hardest not to think about anything else. Like I didn't try to think of my bowling as much. I just started to think about anything else to distract me. Because it's more of a mental game. If you think about it too much, like Michael explained earlier, like, it'll mess you up.
Sure. It's kind of a microcosm in life, really. Just really stay in the moment. Get far ahead of yourself. Don't think too far behind. You normally is when you get in trouble.
Yeah. Usually when you start thinking about it too hard is where you mess up. Because if you're not thinking about it and everything's just free and smooth, you're less likely to mess up. Because you're not trying to overdo it. You're not worried about trying.
Yeah. So, both Estrella and Michael, captains on the team, younger players, what responsibility do you feel it comes with that, being a captain on the team?
I feel like it's a mental thing, but also knowledge. So like, I've been bowling like my whole life, so like I know a good amount about it. Don't know everything, but I can help. So as a captain, you should try and help even the younger, like the freshmen, everything. It doesn't matter who it is. Always try and help when you see something that you can help in, step in with. And also just keeping the mentality up. Don't let people get down on themselves.
I am very new to bowling. I only started like last year, and with my first year, I feel like I can help out the best I can, especially to people that are new. And it's just a matter of fact that you're just there to help. And if you don't know most of like what the other person should do, what you should do, you should still be supportive.
Run. Just started bowling last year, or just bowled a 247 this year? My goodness. That's amazing. Coach Reese, your career record. I'll leave you out of this.
My highest is 720.
Okay. Wow.
I'm right
Pretty good
behind
series.
Mikey.
And last but not least, ever pick up a 710 spare in competition? No?
No, the chance of that happening is so low. It's like a 0.1% chance.
Wow. You're saying there's a chance.
Barely. Barely.
Well, Coach Reese, Michael Emerick, and Estrella Lopez Cruz, we really appreciate you joining us tonight on the Lair.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
All right, well, next up, we'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to the Leopard Lair, presented by Straggett Media. We wanted to take this last little segment here, one, to thank our sponsors once again, Thomas Dental Associates, the law firm of Guiley and Guiley, and then the Soul Truth as well. So again, we really appreciate you guys supporting us here at the Lair and our coverage here of both our boys and girls athletics. So much appreciated. And with that, the last thing we want to do is just wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we've been very blessed this year of 2022, and we just take this time to reflect, just whether it's family and friends in town or whatever it is, Lord, just wish you a very Merry Christmas. So Thanks again for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time here at Leopard Lair. So long, everybody.